up, Toronto? Happy Friday to all you beautiful souls out there. I'm your host, Susanna Dutt, and right now, it seems like the sun is out, making you feel like it's spring. But hey, remember two crucial things, guys. First, we live in Canada, and second, keep those layers on. Yes, you heard it right, folks. Despite the sunshine, today's forecast is a mix of sun and clouds, and let me tell you, it's going to be breezy with wind speeds picking up to 40 kilometers per hour. So hold on to your hats, or they might just take a trip across the city without you. Temperatures, though, will stay above freezing for a daytime high of 5 degrees Celsius, which sounds lovely until you hear it's going to drop to -7 by the afternoon and plummet further to a frigid -15 degrees Celsius by the evening. So, if you're one of those optimists ready to dive into your spring wardrobe, I'd say hold off on those floral prints and shorts a tad longer, though I know some people who rock shorts and slippers in the winter in -20 conditions. I don't know, I don't think they've heard of arthritis. Anyways, despite some mild wintry weather this year, we've got unseasonably warm spells. Yeah, I'm talking about those days where we hit plus 12 degrees in February, which is insane. Remember, again, this is Toronto, so we're used to more snowstorms than sunbathing in February. And speaking of changes, we're just a little over 2 weeks away from daylight savings time. So mark your calendars for Sunday, March 10th, because that's when our clocks are supposed to leap an hour ahead. Yeah, we're going to lose an hour of sleep, but think of the bright side. Actually, I'm still trying to find one. Those few days might have us all feeling a tad groggy, especially if you've got kids. Bless your soul. Might be a good idea to stock up on caffeine because you're going to need it more than ever. I've said this before. The best part about the clocks going back in the fall is that extra hour of sleep. It's like a mini holiday in the middle of the night. But springing forward, well, let's just say it's the universe's way of telling us to hop to it, even if our bodies are screaming for that lost hour back. So, Toronto, as we ride this weather roller coaster together, let's make the most of it. Layer up, keep your coffee strong, and who knows, maybe we'll start seeing consistent spring temperatures for real. Until then, let's dive into some entertainment, nostalgia, feel good stories, and more to keep our spirits up. Stay tuned. Okay, so Family Day happened this past Monday, where we all had the chance to take a break from our busy lives and spend some quality time with our loved ones. The one day of the year where we can guiltlessly ignore emails and focus on what truly matters: family, whether that's the one you're born in or the one that you've chosen. Though it's not a stat holiday here in Ontario, most government buildings like banks and libraries were closed, including grocery stores, while some movie theaters and restaurants stayed open. Again, it depended on which part of the city you lived in. What did I do? Well, I pretty much worked the whole day at my reporter job because the news never sleeps, which was quite busy, might I add, because for some odd reason there were so many police reports coming in, especially for the city of Oshawa. I think I wrote like 4 or 5 crimes for that region, and then Peel also had a bunch, and I'm like, wow, whoever is working today and filing these stories must be on a roll getting them out. After work, I made some dinner and chatted with my mom over the phone and had tea. Pretty much after that, I went to bed. What about you, listeners? Did you brave the cold for a family outing or did you keep it cozy indoors? Maybe it was a day of peaceful relaxation for you, or did you barely survive the chaos of family activities? Perhaps you discovered a new board game and it didn't end well because someone flipped it over, creating a huge mess. And the secret you found to that was getting the kids or someone else to clean up the mess with a little bit of bribery. Okay, so let's talk reality TV, where drama reigns supreme, and let's be honest, we can't help but binge watch every bit of it. Yes, we all know these shows are scripted to some extent to keep us on the edge of our seats, but oh, do they deliver the entertainment or what? First up, let's talk about the roller coaster that is Jersey Shore. Last season, we saw the return of Sammy Sweetheart, thanks to Angelina, sparking a frenzy among fans because for the first time in over a decade, the original cast were back together. Well, sort of. With Ronnie and Sammy's toxic relationship, it was like watching a soap opera, but with more GTL. That's gym, tan, laundry, and less of those amnesia cases. And speaking of returns, Angelina, who famously left in season 2 of the original series, came back during one of the family vacations, calling herself a dirty little hamster as she walked in through the doors to mic the situation. Since then, she's been stirring the pot. If we fast forward to season 6 of Jersey Shore Family Vacation, boy oh boy, there's a lot of drama around Angelina. It's been quite next level. But from that point on, we see something else from her divorcing her husband Chris to getting engaged to a new Vinny. Yeah, not the Vinny who's the original, though there's this awkward sexual tension there that could cut through a smush room. It's been a wild ride. Now, season 7, we get to see a different narrative of Angelina, a different side to her, one that's more emotional. You see, now these are spoiler alerts, so if you haven't begun the season, pause Wake Up Toronto, go check it out, and come back because there's major spoilers up ahead. Now, after finding her real dad with the help of Mike the instigator, or should I say Mike the investigator, things take a dark turn when her newfound father starts seeing her as a walking ATM rather than his daughter. It's a storyline that tugs at the heartstrings and makes you wonder about the real cost of fame. Now, Angelina's journey this season is like a reality TV Shakespearean tragedy with a touch of empowerment as she stands up to her father, demanding a real relationship over financial support. It's raw, it's real, it's intense, and it got all of us rooting for her to find the genuine connection that she deserves. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, the potential for a Ronnie and Sammy reunion. Will they? Won't they? Do we even want them to at this point? It's like waiting for a grenade to go off. You just know it's going to be messy, but you can't look away. So, Toronto, what's your take on the latest Jersey Shore drama? Team Angelina or Team Drama Free? And are we shipping a Ronnie and Sammy reunion, or is it a chapter best left closed? Leave your comments below. We got more Bravo reality TV here. For this next one, let's pour one out for a show that not only captured our hearts, but also brought vibrant South Asian culture right into our living rooms. Family Karma. Yes, it's true. Our beloved window into the lives of a dynamic Indian American community in Miami have still not been in talks for another season. And I've got to say, it's a loss felt deeply across the board. Like, this show brought representation to television for both me and the rest of our Indian community. So, season 3 of Family Karma was its last. It was like a masterclass in balancing tradition with the trials and tribulations of modern life. We were invited to more weddings than our calendars could handle, and each one more breathtaking than the last, showcasing the richness of culture of South Asian traditions, music that made you want to jump up and dance, and of course, food that had us all drooling with envy. But what made season 3 truly special was how it dug deep into the personal journeys of our favorite cast members. We saw Anisha facing the pressures of marriage and career with her signature humor and resilience. And lo and behold, another spoiler, she did secretly get engaged, move in with her boyfriend, and get married. So that was amazing. Bali, as we know her, was the bridge between the older and younger generations, navigating her unique place within the community with grace and a bit of spice. And I think last off, she had moved back in with her parents. Amrit and Nicholas took us on their journey of love, commitment, and the challenges of planning a traditional Indian wedding as a same sex couple, and they touched our hearts and opened many minds along the way. Then there was a drama. Oh, the drama. From Vishal and Richa's on again, off again relationship saga to the clashes and reconciliations that are all too familiar in any tight knit community, Family Karma didn't shy away from showing the conflicts that arise when traditional expectations meet individual aspirations, making each episode a delicious mix of laughter, tears, and gasps. But beyond the festivities, the fashion, the feuds, season 3 shone a light on the strength of family bond, the importance of heritage, and the beautiful complexity of life in the diaspora. It celebrated joys, navigated the challenges, and above all, honored the love that binds these families together, making it a beacon of representation and relatability. Now, here's to hoping for a reunion special of some kind down the line, because let's face it, we're not ready to say goodbye. Meanwhile, in the world of the cast, the story continues to unfold in their lives in the most exciting ways, especially if you're one to stalk them lovingly, of course, on their socials. And guess what? I've got some updates for you that some of you already may know. And if you're not in the loop, this will definitely put a big smile on your faces. So, first up, Monica and Rishi. They have been through a lot and did so much growing up, especially with the advice from Papa Raj. The Lovebirds have officially announced their engagement on Instagram, and let me tell you, the pictures are the stuff of fairy tales. Now, for a twist that's going to get you all super pumped, my fellow Torontonians, is Anisha Ramakrishna, our beloved fashionista and queen of quips, is coming to our city this spring. And here's a twist: she's not coming for a fashion show. She's bringing her comedy to the stage. That's right. Anisha's Material Girl comedy show is set to light up the Royal Theatre on April 18th at 7 p.m. So it's your chance to get a dose of her humor in real life. Now, if you want to get even more up and close and maybe personal with her, there is an option for a meet and greet at an additional cost. So, why not? You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Up next, a show that's a blend of glamour and drama, of course, and the kind of slow mo drink spilling that could only be described as an art form. Yes, I'm talking about Vanderpump Rules. Now, I have to admit this. The first episode had me questioning my life choices. I gave it a second chance, and bam, I'm 8 seasons deep, and the intro song alone is giving me life. So the show has seen it all, and recently we waved goodbye to the OG cast: Jax, Brittany, Stasi, and Kristen, over basically a tweak gone wrong, and welcomed fresh faces like Brett, Max, and Dana and their storylines. And how can we forget the mainstays, the OGs, both Toms and their gals, Katie and Ariana? The fact that they bought houses, launched their restaurant with a partnership with Lisa Vanderpump, and yes, DJ James Kennedy was still spinning those tracks at Tom Tom. Okay, so let's fast forward to where I'm actually not at. And this is a spoiler alert for those of you not caught up like me, because it was definitely spoiled for me through other news outlets. But Tom Sandoval and Ariana split, Tom and Katie calling it quits, and the bombshell of Sandoval's alleged cheating scandal with Rachel, or Raquel. It's a mess, guys. And my feelings towards Sandoval right now, let's just say, is less than warm. I mean, he's got the model looks, but his personality right now is rubbing me the wrong way. I'm sorry. Now, amidst the chaos of Vanderpump Rules, some cast members are still finding time to spread love for their favorite cities. Now, Jax Taylor, although he's not on the show, is gearing up for a Vanderpump spinoff. And Tom Schwartz, he's been showing major love for Montreal last week. They were both in the city. From the unbeatable food to the incredible hospitality, they've been living it up and hitting all the hot spots in Montreal. And Schwartz even dipped his toes into our iconic Tim Hortons and Canada's very own poutine. And here's a clip of what he had to say about it.
I'd like to issue a formal critical redaction. Poutine is fucking delicious.
How amazing would it have been to sit down with Tom Schwartz? The guy's wit is as quick as a hiccup, and honestly, I think a comedy special is in his future. He also made a stop at Breakfast Television, and I think 99.9 Virgin Radio. It was a pretty good interview. Toronto, what do you think? Are you Team Schwartz for a laugh out loud stand up show? And more importantly, have you been keeping up with the roller coaster that is Vanderpump Rules? Let's chat about it. Hit us up with your thoughts, your favorite moments so far in the season, and yes, even your take on the latest drama in the comment section. Now, I've been saving the juiciest bit for last because let's face it, who among us hasn't dreamt of living the high life like the women of the Real Housewives? I got hooked back in spring of 2018, binge watching all 7 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills before diving into the 8th season. Now, as the show hits its 13th season, the drama is as lavish and laughable as ever. Let's start with the queen of sass herself, Lisa Rinna. Guys, her departure from the show left a stiletto sized hole in my heart. Rinna was the epitome of being comfortable in her own skin and never shying away from calling out the lies. Oh, how I miss her. But let's talk about the ladies who are still in the mix, shall we? Erica Jane, for instance, from accusations surrounding her husband's alleged scams to her navigating life's seismic shifts, it's been a roller coaster. Watching Erica reassessing luxury to then building her brand and landing a residency in Las Vegas has been nothing short of a redemption arc. Dorit, oh Dorit, her run-in with Garcelle showed no one is above being put in their place, and that break-in in her house, it's clear it's taken a toll on her and PK. It's a reminder that being the glitz these women are, they face real harrowing challenges. Oh lordy. And then there's our southern gal, Sutton, with her name 'em bit, and then that magic Mike meltdown she had. Gosh. But her journey, marred by personal tragedy and divorce, kind of highlights her unique place in the group. And you gotta love her mix of like eye rolling moments. And then she has like the genuine empathy little, bits here and there. And yeah, I kind of like her at times and not so much other times, but that's what the dynamic of a group is. You kind of move around. Crystal, though, who I feel is still trying to get comfortable with the group and in front of cameras. We don't really get to see much of her life. It's just bits and pieces here and there. And I'd love to see her narrative evolve a bit more. The newest addition, Anna Marie, the, what do you call it? Anesthesian? Wow. She's got like a very spunky like vibe about her. She's confident. I love that. But this one scene that got to me was the esophagus issue with Sutton. Gosh, that was hilarious. Like I just I'm going to play you a clip.
It's a symptom of something that's not a medical diagnosis. If you have like a stricture in your esophagus, all you do is chew your food more. If you really have a problem, you go get treatment for that. You don't eat food, and then your reason for not eating food is because you're like, I have a narrow esophagus, which like...
Hang on, I do eat food.
I didn't say you did.
You're not my doctor, what?
I get it, but you're saying things that don't make
yell
sense.
at me.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to yell, but I'm just like, that was
don't
kind
yell
of
at me
rude to say
then.
too. I don't mean to yell at you.
Why am I having a doctor's appointment right now?
I think Sutton needs a little work here, and I brought my markers.
You're not having a doctor's appointment. I'm like,
This is someone
Do
who...
you need my health insurance card?
but is it like this is something you get treatment for?
No. Okay. My brother gets his stretched out. I choose not to do that.
Okay.
Shall we go get my esophagus stretched all together as a group?
Oh my God.
But the person who really caught my eye this season is Kyle Richards. She's showing a different side, more reserved, focusing on her health and career. And then there's these rumors swirling around on her marriage with Mauricio, which are concerning. But on the opposite side, you have Kyle's resilience, and that's undeniable. You could see more than a housewife. She's this powerhouse juggling her family, fame, and career with grace. But I feel this button that's about to be pressed where she's going to have like this huge breakdown on screen. Um, and I hope this season it's definitely been a whirlwind, leaving me and I'm sure many of you torn and concerned, especially about Kyle. She's like my favorite on the show. So her journey this season is a testament to the complexity of life in the spotlight. And as we await the reunion, I'm holding out hope for some positive updates on her and Mo's marriage. So, Toronto, what's your take on this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Any predictions for the reunion? Let's dive into that drama, the triumphs, the heartaches of our favorite housewives. And remember, beneath the glamour, there are real stories, real struggles, and real as F strength. As usual, leave your comments below. Things are heating up and it's only going to rise more because this latest experiment is a show which I've spoken on before, but this season was pretty crazy so far. Where love is not just in the air, but also under the microscope, especially when it comes to Love is Blind. We're in season 6 and zooming in on contestants Chelsea Blackwell and Jimmy Presnell, a couple that's become the center of quite the controversy. Chelsea basically dubbed the Megan Fox lookalike of the season, and Jimmy, her fiance, have been navigating through not just the bliss of engagement, but also the turbulence of expectation versus reality. It all started when Chelsea mentioned her celebrity resemblance, a comment that set stage for a not so fairy tale moment when Jimmy admitted his disappointment upon after selecting her, doing the big reveal, meeting her in person. That expectation of a Hollywood doppelganger wasn't appealing, and it left viewers and Chelsea herself in a bunch of emotions. So the backlash from the audience has been pretty intense, with many calling out the unrealistic standards set by such celebrity comparisons. This situation opens up a broader dialogue about appearance, the value that we place on it, and how it affects our decisions and relationships. It's like a stark reminder that love, especially in a pressure cooker environment like Love is Blind, can sometimes lead to unexpected revelations. But also, many people are saying the whole point of this experiment is not to sit there describing to the person that you are building a connection with or falling in love with how you look like your skin tone, the color of your eyes, who you resemble. It can have a huge impact on the person you're speaking with and be an influence on their decision. So, was it fair or unfair that she did this? What was the motive behind it? Was she wanting to just be selected? Who knows? Only Chelsea can tell us that. But it's also not just about the appearances, I think. As Chelsea and Jimmy settle into life together outside of the pods, you see, they're learning that love is more about substance than just looks. It's about, again, the connection, understanding, and most importantly, acceptance. I think in a later episode, Jimmy called her clingy over a kiss, like she wasn't getting enough affection or attention, like she was pinpointing or nitpicking that he didn't kiss her that day. Yikes. So check this clip out.
Truthfully, you've been a little clingy.
Clingy? You didn't kiss me once today.
I did.
You never tell me you love
Kissed
me.
you twice.
For me, the other couple that kind of got on my nerves a little, not so much the woman, it's the guy. And they ended up parting ways after living together was Brittany, the senior client partner, and Kenneth, the dedicated principal. So their journey from the pods into the real world was anything but ordinary. What was the most telling obstacle? Well, after they were living together, because in the pods, they don't have access to their phones or the internet besides the conversations that they have with the other contestants, right? So when Kenneth got his phone back while they were living together, he was constantly on it. And there was this lack of intimacy between the couple. It's just frustrating. And I can see from Brittany's perspective. And this is a situation that many couples can relate to in the digital world where, our phones have the internet and social media platforms, and we can text and call and do whatever we want, play games on just like one device. And we're so dependent on that. And that sort of competes against real life connections. And this often leaves that one partner who prefers traditional ways of communicating to feel neglected. For Brittany and Kenneth, this digital distraction became like a significant hurdle and had her questioning their relationship as a whole because they weren't connecting on a deeper level like they were in the pods. But it's, not just about those challenges, how they're navigating these waters, with Brittany pushing for more engagement and Kenneth grappling with balance between his work life, his duties, and his relationships with friends versus her burning desire of affection. So there's this distance that begins to build. For example, in the pods, when you don't have your phone, it seems like, he's able to be present in the moment. But when he's outside of all that, he's addicted to his phone. And that's a huge part of his life. So his friends and his jobs take precedence, and the woman he has chosen as his wife doesn't become part of that world. She's still an outsider. So I'm glad they kind of had that emotional chat before they pulled out from the wedding, and he decided to pack up and leave, and that was it. So take a look at this clip.
Like, I feel like that desire and crave between you and I is like the missing piece.
For you.
Because everything else is aligned.
For you. If you feel like you don't have a crave for me, thank you for telling me that. But I don't feel like I'm missing the crave for you.
Okay, let's hop into our time machine and dial back to the 90s and early 2000s to revisit some of the moments that defined our yesteryears, whether it was the music that had us dancing or the headlines that had us talking. Let's see what nostalgia we've got in store today. This month in 2004, I believe it was February 4th, the social networking site Facebook, now known as Meta, was founded by Mark Zuckerberg and his college roommates. This early growth marked the beginning of a new era in social connectivity and digital communication. So if we're looking at a timeline here, in 2006, the news feed part of Facebook, this was a significant addition, allowing users to see a curated list of updates from their friends all in one place. And it was a time of revolutionizing how information was shared and consumed on the platform. Then a year later, Facebook pages like business, musicians, and public figures could create these pages, expanding Facebook's utility beyond personal networking to include professional and fan engagement. Following that year in 2008, Facebook Chat appeared. So this was the introduction of real-time messaging, allowing users to communicate directly with their friends, making the platform more interactive. In 2009, there was the introduction of the like button. This became a quick way to show appreciation for posts and comments, fundamentally changing user interactions on the site. In 2010, there was Facebook Places. So you could attempt to tap into the growing interest in the location based on the services offered, and these places allowed users to check into physical locations and share that with their friends. 2011, there was the timeline and ticker. So these features offered a new way to view profiles as a chronological timeline of events and real-time update ticker of friends and your activities. 2012 marked Facebook's acquire of Instagram. So this expanded Facebook's reach into the photo sharing domain, marking the start of its social media empire building. Then, a year later in 2013, there was this introduction of graph search. So, what this allowed was users to search for specific content within their network, leveraging the vast amount of data that Facebook had collected over the years. In 2014, lo and behold, Facebook Messenger. It spun off onto its own standalone app. Messenger evolved into like a robust platform for private communication and, of course, messaging, including voice and video. This expansion was a huge deal because you basically had everything you needed at the touch of your fingers under one umbrella. It was just one app, or if you had like Messenger, but that was it. That's all you needed to interact with your family and friends. Now, if we're talking about Instagram, which was launched in 2010, it quickly became the quintessential platform for photo sharing, bringing, life to pictures. And it wasn't just about sharing those moments, it was about crafting stories, aesthetics, visions, and sharing the glimpse of the user's world through their eyes. And Instagram just grew bigger and bigger. And a lot of users from Facebook kind of left that scope and utilized Instagram a little bit more and its features. Shortly after came the era of video content. While Instagram was popularizing, the art of the perfect snapshot, apps like Dub Smash and Musically, which later evolved into what we know as TikTok today, started to capture the imagination of the younger generations with their video-centric platforms. However, Instagram was quick to adapt to that, and it started rolling out features like stories inspired by Snapchat, later IGTV, Reels, which is what it's called now, and it offered users new ways to express themselves through short and long form videos. Okay, and since we're on the topic of Instagram, I feel like I'm giving like this huge lesson on technology right now, but it's interesting to think about it, how things in the history of technology get introduced, we adapt to it, we move forward, and it's like we're adding on to it. And things that don't work out or become, obsolete, we kind of deviate from and forget. So, anyways, Instagram was like this launching pad for influencers. Like these are individuals who leverage the platform to be visually appealing, to build personal brands and influence trends and foster communities. So, this definitely was a game changer for also businesses doing collaborative experiences. The advent of influencers and marketing, coupled with Instagram's sophisticated targeting analytics like the algorithm and its tools, it transformed the platform into like this dynamic marketplace where engagement and authenticity like ruled. Okay, and let's not forget about the live streaming. Instagram Live brought like real time interaction to the forefront, allowing creators and celebrities and businesses to connect with their audience in an unfiltered and spontaneous manner. And so, this feature, especially in a world more connected yet isolated than ever, underscored the platform's ability to adapt and thrive amidst the ever changing, ever evolving digital landscapes. So, as we navigate in the world of social media, it's fascinating to see how Instagram has remained a cornerstone of digital culture, from setting the stage for visual storytelling to adapting to the video content boom. And Instagram's journey is, I don't know, like a testament to innovation and resilience in the face of new trends and platforms like TikTok. And also, like, I have to say, as a millennial, when Facebook was first created, when we started signing up, it was the jam. Just like, oh my goodness, I'm totally going to age myself, but whatever. MySpace or High Five. I think there was also like Second Life or something, or Habbo Hotel, like chat rooms, of course. And so for Facebook, you could choose your friends, put statuses up, And I think at that time, like AIM for my American friends or MSN Messengers for us Canadians, was slowly coming to an end there. So this was the replacement for that. Now, gradually as the years went on, if we're looking to our phones as well, we had like an actual keyboard on our phones to text, and that slowly shifted into a touchless keyboard and a touchscreen phone. And so you could see the direction that technology was going in, that it was just changing for the better to give us better experiences as well. And you know what? The quality of the cameras was improving, and so was our selfie game, those pictures. And so when Instagram basically was brought into us, everyone instantly was gravitating towards that platform. And so Facebook became somewhat of a ghost town. I mean, do I have Facebook? Yes. Do I use it often? No. Once in a while, I think during my birthday, I get a whole bunch of people wishing me, you know, many happy returns of the day kind of a thing. But other than that, I'm more on Instagram and TikTok, I feel, just going in between both of those apps. But right now, what I'm seeing is another generation digging Facebook, and that's my parents' generation. They're adding friends from their past elementary and high schools from back in the day, adding photos, sharing videos, and it's a really good, I guess, beginner's way of them learning the ropes of technology. Both my parents have it. Um, and the only time I really use Facebook is not the app itself, but Messenger to talk to my mom or my dad sometimes because they want to show videos and they're on Wi Fi, so it comes out better. I think WhatsApp we don't really use that much because my parents are just so used to Facebook's interface right now. Yeah, so that's my long form response on 90s slash 2000 nostalgia. So let's see, 10 years from now, who knows what will replace Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you're looking for more nostalgia, like daily stuff from the 90s and 2000s, you can check out Wake Up Toronto's Insta page. It's brand new, it's slowly growing, called millennialtv.ca. There's some pretty good stuff out there. Up next, we are looking at some movies that have been released this month. Here are some movies that have been released or are scheduled for release in February of 2024. It's capturing a mix of genres and interests. So let's see. Land of Bad. It's an action-packed movie that follows the story of a military personnel who's tasked with a high-stakes mission to retrieve a weapon of mass destruction from an enemy bunker. So it's thrilling, adventurous, it promises suspense, intense combat sequences, and a test of loyalty and bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. So check it out if you love that kind of movie. Okay, so Winnie the Pooh, and this is not the traditional one, guys. It's not the cartoon either. It's called Blood and Honey 2. So there was a part 1 to this movie. I haven't seen it, but it's basically a controversial horror take on this classic children's character. Now, I haven't seen it. I don't think I will see it. So I can't pretty much give a recommendation for, but I think of Winnie the Pooh as a sweet, cute bear, and I'm not about ruining my childhood and giving myself that kind of trauma. So I'm gonna skip that. But if you're into horror and want to see a bear go on a slasher rampage of sorts, be my guest. Next is Madam Web. This is a highly, highly anticipated addition to the Spider Man universe. It focuses on the clairvoyant character Cassandra Webb, who's played by Dakota Johnson. So, if you love action and the Marvel movies, definitely check it out. Ooh, another horror genre kind of movie. This one's called Lisa Frankenstein. And before you start screaming, it's not the typical kind of scary film. It's actually a horror comedy set in 1989, and it's inspired by Mary Shelley's classic novel, but has like this vibrant 90s twist. And it's directed by Zelda Williams. So if you want to check out a different spin on things, watch Lisa Frankenstein. And just like that, Toronto, we've come to the end of another episode of Wake Up Toronto. Whether you've been with us from the start of your morning or just tuning in, thank you for making us a part of your day. We've navigated through some different avenues of reality TV, taken a nostalgic trip down memory lane, and even caught up with the latest in movie magic. So I want to say take care. Keep spreading love and don't forget to find a little time this weekend to do something that makes you happy. Our next segment airs on the first Friday of March, which is March 2nd, and we'll be back with more chats and laughs and maybe a few new surprises along the way. Until then, keep your spirits high, honey, and sending you all much love from me to you. Mwah. Susanna, out.